Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing. Big show coming your way, and I tell you what, it was a big weekend of fishing too, with a long weekend. Plenty to look at in Catch of the Week tonight. And Ads, you went away down to Lake Tyers for the weekend. How'd you go?
Yeah, really well. The fishing there is quite well. I must admit, Lake Tyers itself is looking a little bit sad with a bit of lack of water and bits and pieces. The lake's quite low, but the fishing's exceptional. There's big flatties around.
Your arms sore?
Kicking.
Oh, you didn't go all the way down there by kayak?
Yeah, no, I did. But
What, you got foot pedal?
Foot pedal.
Oh.
Have you?
Yeah, so tanked legs and still my skinny arms.
Should organise a float in the river festival or something like that. And Trelly, I saw some big cod pictures this week. It must be pretty good around your neck of the woods.
Very good. Fishing's been excellent. All over the place, actually. Not mad in one spot, but it's been fishing really, really good. Really good.
Is there a lot of cold water going down the Goulburn River? Or about to? I had a rumour.
Well, the thing is with Eildon is the water release actually comes from the bottom.
Yep.
So it does come out at around about, I'll get it wrong, but probably 8 to 12 degrees. So that water does transfer downstream. And if they're going to release some more, yes, it will cool down. So,
But, or do they release it from somewhere else? Is there somewhere they hold it? No, they don't hold it above Shepparton, do they? So it's out of Eildon straight
Nagambie,
down.
they hold it a bit in Nagambie, but by the time
Someone said to me they're about to release a whole lot of cold water that's going to affect native fishing.
What for? What's the purpose?
Because there's entitlements that are opened up now after.
There's intervalley transfers, which is another word for selling our water downstream. Murray-Darling Basin Plan.
Is that to deter jet skiers on Lake Eildon?
No, it's I'm trying to think of the word without getting in trouble on TV. a muck up by the Murray-Darling Basin Plan as far as the intervalley transfers and delivering water to certain places.
So there's going to be an intervalley transfer. There's going to be an intervalley transfer.
We haven't got enough time to talk about it.
All right. Something that Kevin wants us to talk about is the Talking Fishing stubby holders and T-shirts. I think we've got a little bit of a slide there. You can get them if you go over to talkingfishing.com.au and you can buy them off Kevin.
Good on you,
Kevin's the T-shirt man and the stubby holder man.
That's right.
We won't hold the T-shirt against you, but that's all right.
We want the red ones back. No, it's all good. We didn't say that, did we?
Yeah. Not going to hold the T-shirt against you. It's not a 5XL. Sorry. Did I say that?
Folks, let's have a look at what's been caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
And I tell you what, has this species, boys, been making news on our show for the last few weeks? It's not. Yeah, well, it's good though.
It is.
Have a look at this.
Which one?
Now, I'll get an email from this bloke actually. Noel from Cape Woolamai. He went out in his kayak behind the police station. And have a look.
What did he go on?
Kayak.
That's why he got it. When we got them in a boat.
Have a look at the garfish he caught.
Whoa, look at that.
That's a pretty good feed there. Well done, Noel.
Bigger than a spice rack.
Yeah. Look at that. Do you reckon Noel would be a foot peddler or a paddler with his arms? Charlie, have a look.
He's a foot peddler. Fellow foot peddler.
Chicken wings and blubber legs, I reckon he's doing with his belly. Good shot, Trev. Good on you, mate.
Who?
Trevor.
That wasn't Trev, mate.
Noel.
We're
off to a flying start tonight. Christian Stella, he got some beautiful King George whiting off Rye. Have a look at those for specimens. And
chunky fish.
Absolutely mint conditions behind.
Yeah, so she was rough.
Yeah. Oh, I still would have got seasick. Alrighty, let's in the same region. There is a lot of King George whiting. I've almost called Port Phillip's fishing better than Western Port.
Yeah, it seems
the King George
that
whiting.
way.
But Margie Whitworth, have a look at Margaret here. A beautiful King George whiting.
Flying whiting.
Flying whiting.
Yeah, just hauled into the boat. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
And can you believe, so in the same email we got, Margie's husband, Peter, Margie wouldn't hold them all up, so Peter held them all up.
Pete's got a handful.
Have a look at the King George whiting that Pete and Margie caught. They're good whiting.
Yeah, very good whiting.
Aren't they?
Rippers.
Got to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Pete's all smiles.
He is.
Hey?
Well, he's not wearing Margie's tights, is he?
No.
She was wearing the last shot.
Oh, it's going to be a long hour. Let's head over to Werribee South now. It must be in the south of Werribee, Trolley, that you can get 51 centimetre flathead, as Tracy Pascoe found out a lovely yank flathead, boys.
That's a good flathead.
Yeah. It's
A couple of nice fillets off that one.
good to see the flathead. All right, let's head inland. And the freshwater scene's been equally as good, boys, over the weekend. Been absolutely fantastic, and none other than Eildon Pondage, as we were just talking about Eildon before. Aaron Bickers, now he got a couple of nice ones. This is the biggest, a lovely brown trout out of Eildon Pondage, and again, perfect conditions.
Yes.
You know, it's
nice fish.
It's the time before. I mean,
Nice fish.
starting to get a few cool mornings,
Yeah,
which
but
is good for those trout.
It doesn't take long to warm up though.
No, no.
And I noticed through the week we had a report come in from Gary Constantine, who's got the bait and tackle shop at Eildon.
Yep.
Lovely bloke, Gary.
Yep.
Go in there, you got all the good, and he caught one. He was just under £10 too. It's
Good
his
fish.
personal
Out of the
best.
pondage?
I think it was out of the pondage. I might get that wrong, but it was his personal best.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good fish.
Great fish.
What was your biggest fish at Lake Tyers?
67 centimetre flathead.
That's a good fish.
Yeah, and they were in nasty conditions. The night we got there was blowing a gale, and it was dead calm the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
on a
there
plastic?
was, on a plastic.
Yep.
Yep. Just dragging the bottom.
What depth would you have got him in?
We hooked that fish in about 3.5 metres.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're working a drop from 3.5 to 5 metres. A gradual
Yeah.
drop. Nothing's too steep there, but really good access to
working up the drop.
No, down. So casting into 3.5 and bringing back to 5.
Oh, okay.
Just hopping it down there.
Yeah.
And it was.
Well, this bloke fished nowhere near you anyway. That's
no,
what
because he was where the big girls were. I was playing with the little ones.
Glenn McGill from the Berwick Angling Club
Look at
got
that.
a 91 centimetre dusky flathead. That is a crocodile and a half, isn't it?
Aren't
Yeah.
they just a fish?
They're just beautiful.
I'm jealous, Glenn.
Yeah.
I
Big
really
Fish is the talk of the town, and Lake Nilakudi, which is that brown lake, Shirley, between Mansfield and where?
Benalla.
Benalla?
Yeah.
Okay.
It often goes reddy brown.
Yeah.
With the inflow, but it fishes incredible. Sometimes a year, really well.
Yeah, we'll have a look what Steve Vesey got out of
Stop it.
Nilakudi,
No,
a
no.
105 centimetre.
That looks huge.
Is that a good looking fish or what?
Yeah, you don't get that in your estuaries down here, do you?
No. That is a cracking
Isn't
fish.
Nilakudi renowned for big Murray cod like that?
In the last few years, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of lures that you'd use for like yellow belly. The guys are fishing like small TN jackals and things, and they're just rattling them down those down those slopes and things. Bang on, big fish.
How good's that?
Surprising.
There you go. And lucky last, Gregory Gretsch, I think it is. He sent in an email. G'day, David, Adam and Trelly. This is my brother-in-law, Brad, which we'll show a photo of. He's the gun fisher in the family. He took me kayak fishing at Marlow.
What's that? 2 kayakers in a catch of the week.
Yeah, starting to breed now.
Hello.
At Marlow at 11 o'clock at night, and he hooked this big bass about 2 metres from his jack on a hard body lure. It measured in at bang on 50 centimetres, and we estimate it to be 1.5 kilos. It was fat.
Nice
Good
fish.
fish.
That is a nice fish. Well done, Brad, and thanks for sending the photo in, Greg. So there you go. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
A big shout out to Chloe Malloy there.
Go the Pies.
Chloe
Go the
was still
Pies.
on the bottom
Go
of the ladder.
Pies.
Still on the bottom of the ladder.
only early.
Hey,
No, there's only 1 week to go.
Accumulating-
AFLW.
accumulating draft picks. We're just looking after the future.
Oh, God. Anyway, g'day, Chloe. I forgot what I was... Fisheries news coming up next. Massive news for the suburbs coming up soon on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Tell you what, some big news, boys. Last Friday, let's get straight into it. I joined the Minister down at Lake Karkarook.
Karkarook.
Or Karkarook Lake, which is in Heatherton near Moorabbin.
Yep.
And we put some of your favourite fish in, Charlie.
Murray cod.
Let's have a look what happened down at Karkarook Lake last Friday.
Hello everyone and welcome to Karkarook. My name's Travis Dowling. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Victorian Fisheries Authority and we've got some absolutely fantastic events and announcements today. I'm joined by Minister Pulford. We've got lots of little aspiring fishers here, which is wonderful to see. We're going to release some fish. We're going to talk about how momentous a day today actually is.
Well, we're here in the beautiful southeastern suburbs of Melbourne at Karkarook Lake. It's a beautiful place, but one of the things is the fishery kind of shuts down in the warmer months of the year because the trout just don't like the warm water. I'm here with Minister Pulford, the Minister for Fishing and Boating. How good's that title?
That's so good.
Thanks for your time.
Always lovely to catch up.
Now you're going to change things for Karkarook.
Yes, we've got some very exciting news for anglers in the southeastern suburbs and indeed in a whole bunch of locations around Melbourne. Today we've just dried our feet after having stocked 50 magnificent looking Murray cod into this lake and 200 golden perch. So this is part of our native fish stocking program into a number of lakes in Melbourne. We've identified the places that are perfectly suited for this, and whether in Roxburgh Park or in Melton or here at Karkarook Lake, a number of other locations, there's going to be a native fishery coming somewhere near you.
And this has been years and years in the makings from a stakeholder point of view, hasn't it? Native Fish Australia have been strong on trying to get natives into suburban lakes. I think people would have laughed 15 years ago if you'd have said you were going to stock Murray cod into a metropolitan lake.
Yeah, look, Ron from Native Fish Australia, I spoke to him earlier. He's been advocating for this for years and years and years. And, you know, one of the things that we love to do through the Victorian Fisheries Authority, of course, you know, my eyes and ears are always open to new ideas, but to listen to anglers about where they think the opportunities can be. There was someone who once had some idea about putting barra in at Hazelwood, you know, like we'll...
Worked for a while.
It did, and there was some difficult, extenuating circumstances that made it harder than it was going to be at the start. But seriously, like if people have got ideas, we want to hear them. We work through the science, we work through what's going to work, what's practical, but I can tell you what, we're going to... My personal challenge is to make the Andrews Labor government as famous for fish stocking as we are for getting rid of level crossings.
There you go, Karkarook Lake. Now the Murray cod, they live to 50 years, 100 pounds. They're not going away like the barramundi. They're here to stay. Karkarook Lake, a great native fishery. That's pretty exciting news, I think.
It is.
It's a start of big things to come because a lot more lakes are going to be stocking them.
And we might have a level crossing across one.
Now, can I just point out a couple other things? Anglers are reminded that some of these stocked native fish need to reach minimum legal size before they can be considered for the dinner table. Yep. Murray cod need to be a minimum of 55 centimetres, no more than 75, while golden perch need to measure 30 centimetres or more. So those size limits stay in place regardless of whether they're stocked in a little lake or whether in the Goulburn River or the Murray River.
Correct.
Charlie.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, so those fish, those cod are about 40 centimetres.
Yeah.
How long before they reach 55, do you think?
Depending on their ability to eat, as far as what's in there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
look,
probably 2,000 trout stocked in there every year.
That's right, yeah, something to munch on. It'd probably take them, look, I reckon probably 12 months, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But they grow pretty quick. At that stage, they grow pretty quick for a food source.
Karkarook's a cracker lake, I can tell you.
Looks good.
All right, next one. It was a big story in the Sunday Herald Sun on Sunday. Funny that.
No, I knew what that was that.
New fishing custom plates, a real catch is the headline. And the Andrews Labor government is encouraging anglers to go hook, line and sinker and proudly show everyone on the road how much they love fishing. Minister for Roads and Minister for Fishing and Boating, Jaala Pulford, today encouraged anglers to get creative and develop a slogan for a new custom number plate for recreational fishers. Until April 29, Victorians can visit the Vic Roads Custom Plates website and vote for their favourite number plate design and slogan. Voters will also have the chance to win a $495 custom plates voucher. The design and slogan options have been developed by Vic Roads and the Victorian Fisheries Authority and reflect Victoria's passion for getting out on the water and dropping a line. The Labor government's Target 1 million plan is investing a record $46 million to get more people fishing more often. If you want to participate in this, boys, go to vplates.com.au. It's on your screen there. Now, what they're doing is they've come up with a series of designs, you know, as in one's got a snapper, one's got a trout, one's got a bass. I think there's a couple of others with some nice pictures. So you get to vote what's the best overall.
So I'm just Googling it right now.
Plates. I've already voted.
Have you?
And no, so that's you get to do that. But then you need to come up with a slogan.
I'd love to see some of those.
So the old Victoria the Garden State, or I know there's a few going around now.
The place to be.
The place to be.
Yeah.
I voted today, I'm happy to say.
What was your slogan choice?
Victoria, the place to fish.
Yawn.
Yeah, what's So, off the top of your head, you got one?
No.
You haven't? No. Okay, can you think about it? And maybe in 20 minutes' time or so, I'm going to ask you what your slogan would be. God, Elvis. You're on Friday night. I don't know why I'm asking you, but anyway. Couple other things to add to this. If you have current number plates, and you wanted to just keep the same, you know, numbers and letters like your standard stuff and put on a fishing one, I think that'll end up costing you about $195.
Yeah, right.
Okay. If you wanted to get a brand new number plate with new letters and all that sort of stuff, $495, or you can customise it $495 plus. I think they go up depending on how good a thing. And I know the Andrews government did commit to doing them on boat trailers as well.
Yeah.
But they're not quite ready for that. So
next phase.
That'll come at some stage. But anyway, that's number plates. There's an event on, it's a fishing challenge.
A challenge?
This one is called the Ovens River Challenge. It's a fishing and social event, and it's run by Native Fish Australia and the Australian Trout Foundation, who together form the Victorian Inland Fisheries Alliance. 6th and 7th of April at Myrtleford, Charlie.
Yes.
This is a catch, measure and release only event, open to anyone with a passion to preserve our inland fisheries. There's a whole lot of info there. And there's another slide on this on how to register. To obtain a registration pack, email your contact details, including name, address, angling club, email address, phone number, to either one of those email addresses on the screen there, and we'll post that on our social media if you haven't written it down.
Lovely part of the country up there.
Right now, Myrtleford.
Yep.
So is Myrtleford a bit of a mixed fishery, is it, with trout and natives?
It is. It sort of borders. There's probably more trout up where we're talking there, but you know when you go up at Mansfield and you fish the Delatite, it's sort of like that, but probably a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, rocky and that type of thing. Lovely place in the world.
Yep. A couple other things. Talk on the Sunday Herald Sun. I forgot to mention there was in that story they referred to Target 1 million, where they're going to ban netting in the mouths of Gippsland Lakes and ban netting in Corio Bay. I think someone decided to put the 2014 commitments in instead of the 2018. So a bit of misinformation in the Sunday Herald Sun. It wasn't much of a story. It was only a quarter page. But anyway, the other one that appeared in the newspaper, and I know we haven't got a slide for this, was the Port Lincoln Times, boys, last week, where the tuna growers are saying they've been ripped off. I don't know where to start with this because it's a pretty...
Obviously.
Yeah.
It was fake news anyway.
Fake
yeah,
news.
they're claiming that Anne Ruston, so that haven't they turned on Anne Ruston? You know those tuna barons that said they were, you know, Anne Ruston promised us another 500 tonne and all that. Well, now they've turned on her and said, you know, she didn't quite give the correct information, but they're feeling a bit dirty over there. Look it up, Port Lincoln Times, Google the word quota, I think it is. And
okay. So they've been...
but they've kind of blamed her for giving...
So what's the message, Dave? They're not as much there as what they thought they had.
Well, there's an argument now going on between the federal government and the tuna guys, and all I can say is thank God that we've got Jaala Pulford and Daniel Andrews, because one of their election commitments was
they stuck to the guns.
Stick with the current bag limits for southern bluefin tuna and protect those rights for recreational anglers, and we don't want to see them gone. So, you know, our state government will, you know, stand up for our rights.
So they should. That's a very good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Now, Murray cod.
Yes.
Can I go back to that cold water thing?
Yep.
If there was a whole lot of cold water to go down the Goulburn River, what does that do to the native fish?
Oh, it just shuts them down. Yeah, they basically just shut down. It won't do anything to them as far as...
No, it won't hurt them. No, but it'll shut down the fishing?
Exactly, yeah. It's a bit like barra fishing, you know, you get a temperature drop. A bit like, you know, you see a lot of places.
And that goes through Ngambie?
Correct. Yeah, that's how it flows. Eildon, down through Seymour, down to Ngambie Lakes, where they're going to have the competition.
Well, I was just going to say...
And then on through to Murchison.
Yeah, they couldn't have timed it any better.
So the Go Fish Ngambie event...
at the moment.
Which I think we've got...
Here we go. 25 to 28 April.
Yeah, 25 to 28. So that's over the Anzac Day period.
That's right.
A lot of anglers heading to that, Shelley. Would they have spoken to the Water Authority to say, hey, stop! Don't muck around with the water for our.
Yeah.
This is. Am I right in saying is this bigger than the Cod Classic?
It's probably in
prize
dollar value, yes, but possibly not in. Well, it could be in competitors because it's capped at 5,000 fishermen, 1,000 boaters, which is 2 in a boat.
That's 2,000. Bank fishing.
Yeah, included. Yeah, so there's 3,000 bank and
kayak.
So would these people have spoken to the water authorities to say, hey, don't mess around with the water?
Exactly. Yeah. Now that's what happens. It's like the Southern 80 as far as the ski race goes. Yeah. They've got to plot their snags and bits and pieces when they race. Yeah. They keep a constant level for that weeks leading up to it. Yeah. And the same thing with Go Fish Ngambie and the organisers. That they've had a word to the water stakeholders and said, look, we need certain conditions to make this work. And they're possibly putting a flow down now, supplying downstream, and when it comes to that week leading it, they'll probably, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks leading it, they'll probably pull it up and
stabilise it.
Yeah.
There you go. Hope so. Anyway, coming up next, product of the week, we're going to talk about boat batteries. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Spotters, Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Now, boys, different product of the week this week. Well, you got the flick because you're always on holidays.
Oh, righto.
You know, you got no time for it, so I've had to go and do product of the week this week.
It's probably because I know nothing about batteries.
And I caught up with caught up with old mate and talked about the technicalities of boat batteries. Have a look at this.
I might learn something here.
All right, we're here today talking with Michael from Seamaster Batteries because you know what? Back in the old days, oils ain't oils, batteries aren't batteries, are they?
Absolutely, David.
So let's have a look at some of the features of a good marine battery.
First thing I look at is dual terminals, where you've got a solid post and a threaded post. Second thing I look at is cold cranking amperage. That means the strength of the battery. And the third is reputable dealerships that you buy them from, where you're guaranteed service and warranty.
Now, just on the post, Michael, so you've got a solid post and then you've got a threaded post. What's the difference?
In a normal application, what people do is they will put their cranking battery straight to their engine. So that's all it does. Specifically, its sole purpose is to crank your engine. The threaded post, covered with a wing nut, does all your accessories, from anchors, electric motors, lights, radios, anything that runs off 12 volt and is not to crank the engine.
Okay, and checking that your battery's fully charged and charging it, what's the best way to do that?
Look, unless you're a qualified auto elec, what I would do is I crank my engine quickly. If it's lethargic or doesn't start at all, crank over at all, what I do is I pull my batteries out of the boat and I put them on charge. If at any stage it smells like sulfation or rotten eggs, turn it off, replace your batteries.
If you've got all that corrosion over it, does that mean the battery's on the way out?
No, not at all. I mean, marine batteries are used in salt application.
Yeah.
Just clean them up with a bit of hot water and you'll be right.
Yeah. Charging your battery, you must charge it all the time when it's not in use. There's several ways you can do it. We've got a few things here, like the little trickle chargers, solar powered charging. What would you recommend is the best way to charge your battery?
Look, ideally, is a trickle charger. There's two forms. This, as you can see, is a solar. Runs off solar energy and it'll charge your battery. Whereas this one runs off 240 volts. So you plug it into your adapter at home, put it on your battery, and it'll charge it up very, very slowly. The best form of charging, and prior to using these, I would use something such as this, which does complete charging. It's 15 ampere, which is quite a big unit.
Yep.
Once it reaches optimum 12.6 volts, 12.8, it cuts out as a charger and falls into the trickle charge mode.
Okay.
So then you can take it off completely and just use one of these.
Yep. Michael, tell me the difference between a cranking battery and a deep cycle battery.
Not a problem. David, a cranking battery is one that receives constant charge from an alternator. That can be a car or even a marine battery. They've got a built-in alternator regulator, something that feeds it voltage or charge. A deep cycle battery doesn't need that. You charge it, it's the makeup of the battery, and it's made to discharge and charge constantly, hundreds of times. Whereas a normal cranker, once you do it a few times, you will ruin the battery.
So with a deep cycle, you can actually drain that battery all the way down? That's okay for that battery?
That's what it's made for, and charge it many more times over and above a cranking battery. You will end up sulfating or ruining a cranking battery by doing that.
There you go. Didn't know that. What's the benefits of having dual batteries?
Great question. We get asked this all the time, Dave. Basically, it's a safety issue, in my opinion. When you've got a dual battery system, it allows you to have one battery wholly and solely to crank your engine. So when you're out in the bay, that's all it does. It'll get you out and get you in. The secondary battery is a deep cycle, and you've got everything else associated with accessories running off that. So you're never draining off the main battery.
Should you use an isolator switch when you've got dual batteries to actually turn them on and off when you stop to go fishing?
You certainly should. The one I've got, which is quite an expensive unit, has a number of settings on it. It'll have off, battery 1, which is your cranker, battery 2, which is your deep cycle accessories, and batteries 1 and 2, so they both run together. What I do, or most people with the same setup, is they'll go out with batteries 1 and 2 to where their spot is, then they'll click off 1 and 2 and go to battery 2, and they'll have their fish finders, their radios, but they're not drawing from their cranker, so they're safe to get back in.
Now this boat's fitted with an electric trolling motor. Michael, what's the ideal setup for a battery for an electric trolling motor?
Dave, simple again. It's horses for courses. What I classify a 12 or 24 volt electric motor is an accessory.
Yep.
And this should run straight off a deep cycle battery. It's not used all the time. It's used spasmodically, so it runs off a deep cycle battery.
So if you want to get the most out of your electric trolling motor, should you have an absolutely dedicated battery to that motor?
It'll hook up to its own deep cycle battery, which is part of all your other accessories.
There you go. Now, when you're buying a battery, how important is it to buy off a reputable dealer?
Huge, and it's a cliche, but look, buy from a reputable dealer. The reasons being is, look at national service, whether you can get a warranty in Victoria or Sydney, advice and service. They'll tell you what to use for your application.
Appreciate your time, Michael. And like I said at the start, oils ain't oils, batteries aren't batteries. So I don't muck around when I do a product of the week.
Geez, bit going on with batteries there.
There is a bit going on. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah. Good on Michael. Did he come off that ad? The Soul.
He was actually the original actor in that, Soul, Oils Ain't Oils, back in the 1970s. Yeah.
Hey, oils ain't oils. I thought I picked the voice.
That's him.
Yeah.
Didn't know that, did you?
It's only family. It's okay to bum your mother. Type of stuff, yeah.
To bomb your mother.
Oh, yeah, the Italians back in those days. It was just business.
It's
just a cliche. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I know Michael's quite an acclaimed television presenter.
Yeah, done well.
He's been around for a while. Ads, I want to talk to you on the weekend, long weekend, a lot of people out fishing, and I saw some kayaks a long way out on the weekend, right?
Yep.
Now, you were at Lake Tyers.
I was.
Had a bit of a blow down there at times and that. What's your setup? If something goes wrong, what's your setup? What do you got on board?
Panic.
Not much. Well, I'm wearing a life jacket, obviously.
Yeah, okay,
I think you do see a few kayakers out there these days. Not many. Most of them doing the right thing, but you've got to have a life jacket on all the time because you can get caught off guard really quickly. If your kayak turns the wrong way and you get a little bit of a swell come in from underneath, it can pick you up by surprise. But listen,
would
David,
you lose all your gear if your kayak flipped over?
Well, the way I approach kayak fishing, the point is not to take that much stuff.
Yeah.
You see people deck kayaks out like boats.
Yeah.
They're not. If you want to take 6 outfits with, running 6 rods for bait and anchor out the back and all your tackle, buy a boat.
Yeah.
It's not for that. And there's some phenomenal kayaks out there that you can take all these things, but kayak fishing, I think, is supposed to be simple.
Yeah.
Choose your style of fishing?
100%.
You just take the one rod?
I generally take 2 rods.
Yeah, okay.
Because you do have rod holders behind you that are moulded into most kayaks. But I'll probably have a few kayakers not too happy with me saying it. But I honestly think the 18 metre line in Port Phillip Bay is probably not the safest place to be with a kayak. Solely because you can't get to where you need to go. Now, whether that be spot A to spot B or from where you are to shore, if it blows up, you are not getting there quickly.
Do you have an anchor?
I don't, no.
Because, one of the things I observed on the weekend, we had I think Saturday and Sunday, we both days had a northerly wind with a southerly change. And guys that had paddled into the northerly wind, right, they paddled out there, but when it turned southerly, they're going to paddle back against the southerly to get back to land. And I thought there was guys that were way too far out.
And it's not calm. No. And I think the other thing that you have to take into consideration, you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
There is more boats and jet skis than there is kayakers. It can be a very, very big place when there's $120,000 boats that are pushing 8 metres in length, going around you pretty quick, and with a bit of swell, you can't be seen.
No.
It's just that. It's that simple.
Anyway, I sometimes worry about those kayak folk. Coming up next, Kramer's Mailbag. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
All right, a bit of mailbag to get through, boys.
Any good ones?
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones. A few boating ones starting to come through more and more often every week. James Hackle writes to us, Dear David, can you invite the government to discuss progress for the Boat Ramp Authority? I have some questions you should ask about how our rego fees are going to be spent. Will the new authority be taking charge of the ramps, or will funding get diverted to councils and other existing boat ramp managers? That's one question.
Very good one.
Yeah. What and where are Victoria's top boat ramp problems or priority major projects?
That's another good question.
Another good question. Can we expect our local boat ramps to be upgraded to have toilets, bins, fish cleaning tables, washdown areas and navigational aids? Fair question.
Yeah.
Can we expect any new boat ramps at new sites? My first 2 votes goes to upgrading the Safety Beach boat ramp, which is terrible, by the way, but really exposed, and investigating a new ramp in Rosebud, which...
So would it be safe to say...
He's from the peninsula?
James, that some information would be handy at this point in time?
Yeah. I think, well, what we probably need to do, in all seriousness, is get the equivalent to Travis from fishing.
Yep.
Straight
to
to the top.
the person who's in charge of boating, get him on the show.
Yep.
Who would
in the
that
next
be?
couple of weeks. I have no idea.
It'd be maritime.
Someone from
Safety.
boating or something, yeah.
Yep.
Maritime safety or something. I don't know.
I got
a couple of months, a few months
But
in now,
good,
and we
great
haven't seen that
questions.
person.
Very
but
good
we need
questions,
to
by
get
the
that
way.
person on the show. So,
Very good questions.
next one, Chris Williams writes in. Chris, he writes, I'm from Druin, and I love fishing at Walkerville. It's a great spot and always good for feed, so much variety. It is a nice little beach for the families, but we need to share our coastline. I like to get there pretty early as parking is a problem. Last Saturday, cars were parked up to the top of the hill at Walkie South by 1 p.m. It's good to see improvements to Walkie North, but I guess most issues are at South. Keep up the good work, talking fishing, great show. Cheers from Willie, Chris Williams. I spoke to another guy who keeps ringing the shop wanting to talk to me about Walkerville boat ramps, and he's saying that the Walkerville South boat ramp is one where it's not the most popular ramp out of the two, but when the wind's in a certain direction, you have to use the south because the north's quite dangerous. There's a lot of rocks around, and you need south. What the committee of management did down there is they held a safety trial over Christmas, and they shut the Walkerville South boat ramp because they said we wanted to see whether cars wouldn't interact with people lying on the beach. And I don't understand, but from what Dave Owens, who rang me today, he's been camping down there for 50 years. He said the committee of management don't want camping and they don't want boating in town. They just want to lock the place up. And
So they want people going
and
to
this is
Walkerville.
this is why we need a boat ramp authority in Victoria to take control of them and get rid of the people that are managing boat ramps that don't want boating at them. Because it's ridiculous.
Same spot as last week, or the same
so that's
issue,
why he's
different?
No, we're talking about the same as
Same
last
spot.
week.
So what's the point of having a boat
There's
ramp
a lot
if you
of
don't
mail
want people
going
to use it?
Well, it happens all over the
What's
place.
the point?
I mean, Tyrone Boat Ramp on the Mornington Peninsula is it holds the trophy up for being the #1 boat ramp with parallel parking instead of angle parking. I keep saying it because they don't want people to launch there. They've made it impossible to park. They think they're smart. God help us. I'll tell you, as soon as that new boat authority's established,
Bring it
it
on.
needs to fix some things. I
Jeez,
tell you what.
you almost got him wound up and started.
Well, I nearly had a what gets me going.
Well, in all seriousness, boating, a lot of people take their boats away at Easter.
do.
And some of these improvements need to happen now. Not in a month or in 3 months or 5 months. People are desperate for things to happen now. Needs to happen. Alec Croswell, he writes, hey guys, I've been fishing in the Kayak off Sandringham.
Good boy.
Hampton recently, have been getting some good flatties and ridiculous amounts of pinkies.
Oh.
That plague proportions, Charlie.
Rats.
Piranhas.
Piranhas.
Thanks for the stereo. My missus is spitting the dummy with me when I clean them at home. Is there a fish cleaning station in the vicinity? Cheers. From Alec. We'd love to say yes, but do you know what it gets back to? Can I go back to it again?
Okay.
Tyrone boat ramp.
Yeah, no. What happened in the Victorian Fisheries Authority? I reckon the last 8 years of whoever's been in power in the government said, we've got a fish cleaning program. Fish cleaning table program. And they go to the manager of the boat ramp, which might be the local council or the same committee of management as Walkerville. And they go, can we put a fish cleaning table at your boat ramp? And they go, no. And then you know what they do? They can't do it.
Nothing. I could probably suggest something. Who was that, Larry?
Alec.
Alex, you could probably stop cleaning your fish in the kitchen sink and go to the laundry sink. For starters. Right?
But it's not the same.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
And lucky last, Richard, he writes, what's the best tide for fishing for whiting in Western Port Bay, Adam?
Oh, well, it kind of depends on where you are.
You're
But
talking daylight or conditions?
What tide?
What tide?
Oh, tide, sorry.
By unanimous decision at the whiting talk that we recently held, Dave, the run out tide or running into low tide would have been the best place, depending on whether we were talking about Port Phillip Bay or Western Port. It seemed the run out running into low was the best time.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Who can explain why? I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one where those fish are coming off the flats and they're easier to find as they make their way back into the channels. Yeah, everyone on that panel.
The run out.
Yeah. Sean Ferdier, old Donnie Newman, who gets mentioned on the show quite regularly, and yourself, all prefer to fish the run out tide.
Yeah.
So tide, your bait smooth, just a bit of wobble, no gobble.
Well, you definitely
on the weekend was terrible. There was just there was a lack of flow on the weekend for
like a neap tide, was it?
Well, it was just slow. Not as fast as some.
Do you know anyone, Dave, that's ever got seasick diving?
Me. Oh, no, I did. I'll just finish it. I'll tell that story. If you'd like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
So how is it possible to get seasick in the water?
Well, the southerly hit on Saturday, and I had all the other ingredients. I wanted to cook a seafood pasta Saturday night. Yeah. And it got a bit choppy, and I anchored. And I thought, I'd just go in and get some. Right, and I think maybe put my wetsuit on and all my gear and that I might have started to get seasick. I didn't feel it, but I got in the water and it was quite choppy. And swimming around, and I'm only snorkeling, 3 metres of water, collecting scallops. I got 20.
Yep.
And I started to feel, I thought, I'm going to be sick here.
So you got your mouthpiece in?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know you can spew through those, can't
No, you can't.
You can.
You would have had experience.
It's been done.
Probably at your gala nights or whatever you have.
Yeah, yes.
Couple of single malts the night before probably didn't aid. Would that be correct?
But anyway, no, I got seasick, and then you can imagine me getting out of the water, and I'm going, rip my wetsuit off,
no good,
get the goggles off. I was head straight, into the beach to get out of there. But anyway,
gold.
Yeah, it is. Coming up next, the all-important hotspots. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries.
And the all-important hotspots, boys.
We'll get the pen out.
I'll tell you what, there's a few fish caught on last week's hotspots, so let's give them again some good ones. Let's kick it off with Clifton Springs, which was it was on last week's show, the new jetty down at Clifton Springs.
That's right.
There is some amazing catches of garfish.
The mini marlin.
Yeah.
Down there at the moment.
Going well. Plenty of room to move.
Silverfish, the best bait.
Yep.
Under a float. And those weed beds down there are magnificent. That pier just gets right out amongst those good weed beds now.
It does.
I think there'd be a few ratings chasing them around.
Maybe.
I don't think they'd sleep at night.
Yeah.
No.
it's a fair call.
Probably wouldn't, yeah.
It's a fair call.
You saw garfish down at Lake Tyres.
Yeah, they're just the little river gars. They get in there quite frequently. They sit on the weed beds there.
Yeah.
Geez, you wouldn't want to be one of them.
No, you wouldn't. No. Over on the other side of the, on the what would you call it, the southern end of the bay, the Sisters of Blairgowrie, the Sisters, which is at Blairgowrie, King George whiting, some beautiful fish off the weed beds that there at the moment. So get a little bit more current on those slower days. Get the further down towards the heads, the better, and certainly Blairgowrie's fishing quite well at the moment. Let's head over to Western Port, San Remo. as we saw. Noel, well, you might have called him Jim.
Oh.
Noel got out the back of the police station at San Remo and got a lovely feed of garfish. So next hot spot is San Remo.
Before you go to San Remo, I'm just cutting your lunch here. Before we go to San Remo, Tankerton's been fishing quite well too.
Oh, did I miss that?
I just saw the boys pull down the graphic because they didn't know what was going on.
I jumped one.
Tankerton's been going all right.
Yeah, Tankerton, I missed that one. Sorry about that. Fishing very well on a run out tide.
Run out tide, it's fun. It's just one of those things. Yeah. It is one of those things.
Tankerton and then San Remo for the garfish.
Yeah, so you can do the double.
Got my way out way out of order there. So let's head up to the north of the state. And a lovely place to go fishing at the moment, Trelly. Tell us about it. Cobram Murray cod.
Yes, it's been fishing okay, but up until probably the last week or so, it's been mad reports.
Yeah.
Just mad reports.
Madness.
Metre plus, I'm saying.
Actually, a lot of bait fishing at the moment.
It's going off.
It's going off. It's been a lot of bait fishing at the moment, but also lures and top water lures. So top water lures, first thing in the morning and at night. But really, really outstanding fish being caught up there. Wow. Anything over 75 is going to be released back. But some cracker fish being caught.
Nice.
Really,
isn't that good?
Yeah.
It's probably a first for hotspots, Cobram.
Yeah,
it probably is.
So, plenty of places to camp along the bank there.
The access from all along that Murray River section. I mean, besides the weekend, on the weekend you didn't have to put in tent pegs to put up your tent because you just tied into other people's tent. Honestly, that was just that many people there. Yeah. And but it looks a lovely part of the country. Great access along the river there. Yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah, nice. There you go. And lucky last, we are hearing from Lakes Entrance that it's one of the greatest prawn runs in a couple of decades.
Wow.
A couple of decades?
In a couple of decades, Charlie.
Is that big?
Frank Melito, go and talk to Frank at the Caltex. He'll tell you where to go. But Frank has said that the prawns are absolutely remarkable down at Lakes Entrance at the moment. Amazing. Got to get your tides right, your moons right and all that sort of stuff, but absolutely remarkable. So there's a place to get to, and probably, I don't know, the moon phases, you've got, I think, a little bit of tide late this week.
What's a kilo of prawns worth?
Oh, Australian.
$32.
30-something bucks,
So, I mean, it doesn't take you long to, I mean, not that you put it into money value, but the amount of prawns you get caught down.
The bag limit's 20 kilos per person.
20 kilos?
Litres? Kilos
20 litres.
I think it's litres.
I might be 20 litres.
They're just so good, aren't they?
Well, what's that?
And they're huge at the moment. They're huge.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit.
Yeah.
Would be a bit.
Amazing. Anyway, we won't tell too many people.
No. Charlie, just a couple of things, details we missed on the Go Fish Nagambie, which is going to be held on the 25th to the 28th of April, which is just after, it's Anzac Day and beyond. If you want to get onto their website, see all the details, gofishnagambie.com.au. But it's more than a fishing comp.
Yeah, that's right. So put this into context, Charlie, because it just, win a share of $500,000. Now that's amazing, but you see all these comps throw these. There's cash prizes, like significant cash. There's going to be caravans.
I read today $20,000 cash for the biggest yellowbelly.
You don't see that in a fishing competition where they just hand out cash.
No. Jerry Ryan, I think, behind Jayco is one of the major sponsors there, and he's doing a fantastic job. But there's clinics. I mean, I know on the Friday there's a couple of clinics as far as fishing. Right through the whole weekend, you'll be able to actually probably get some educational tips from someone around that main area, camping grounds. We're actually part of it. There's quite a few people part of it.
Yeah, you're having a stand there?
Correct, yep. And I know there's a clinic for how to use a spinner bait, what lures to use. There's some special lures that have been made, which we'll bring those in and show you.
Okay, cool. Are you also part of the live entertainment exciting night?
Please say yes.
I've seen you on a table with an air guitar.
Maybe, Stay tuned.
Enjoy some of the best food, produce and beverages that regional Victoria has to offer.
So this is not just a fishing comp. This is a festival. It's got a fishing comp.
Yeah, we've got some of the best wineries around that area, which will be on display, and the food and stuff. It's great, fantastic.
Now,
get there.
The other thing, it's not just a Murray cod comp. Its target species include Murray cod, golden perch, redfin, and carp.
That's right.
So there's actually prizes for catching carp.
Yeah. Yep.
You know nothing about
it. Stay tuned for more details.
I was trying to be smart and say something silly then, but there'd probably be a carp eating competition or something.
Well, if you had anything to do with it, there would be.
Yeah, we usually do something like that. But the whole weekend is based around the fishing, and everything else is sort of tumbled on top.
And
of that,
I think there's also a very big camping component to it too. There's a setting up a major campsite.
Yep, tickets are going on that. There's plenty of tickets left to, and if you go through the selected stores, there's a $20 discount on your entries too. So
is it? Nice.
Yeah. So
get amongst it
to get in there and fish. So there's
we'll put up some property. We'll be a bit more organised next week because I think there's only 30 odd. Oh no, there's 40 odd days to go at the moment.
Yeah,
there's a countdown on their website. I was looking at it today.
After Anzac Day.
Yeah, that'll be good. And of course, Anzac Day and Easter are really late this year, boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, and they virtually roll into each other. I think last year Easter was late March.
Correct.
Now
that's right.
19th of April.
It's always
almost
I think it's the third. Is it the third moon phase after the passing of Jesus Christ? It comes up, so sometimes it's early and sometimes it's like that month out.
I thought it was the
resurrection over Easter.
First moon phase before St Kilda's first loss, which will be quite early. So, anyway.
It's early in the month.
Every year. Are the Saints gone already?
Yeah, done. Right.
I hate to talk football.
Hand in the membership.
It's not even started yet, has it?
Yeah. What, the footy?
Yeah.
And he's already not looking forward to it.
Most of the teams injured already.
Oh, we're out on. Yeah, okay.
They'll probably all be going to go fishing again. But anyway, so
they might be.
Yeah. Hey, big show next week. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoy the show. Next week, we're joined by Lucy Jones from licensing at the Victorian Fisheries Authority.
Okay.
Now, Lucy is going to talk to us about some futuristic ideas for the Victorian recreational fishing licence. So, some pretty innovative stuff coming up, I tell you, next week. We're going to talk the future.
The future?
Yeah. There's some digital, all this stuff I don't understand.
Beam me up, Scotty.
All that sort of stuff. But until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.